and welcome to the EmpowerHer Play podcast. My name is Yashmin, this is Salma, and this is Shafia, and we have a very special guest with us today, Hashi, who is a makeup artist and motivational speaker, who gave us a great speech just before she came on today. So, welcome, Hashi. If you can just tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, what made you become a makeup artist, and how do you fit it all in working full-time and being a mom and being a wife?
Like I was saying to you earlier, it was purely by default that I became a makeup artist. I think when you get married and you have children, your perspective, your goals, your aspirations change somewhat. And I think that goes for you guys too, and most of our viewers. It was something that I felt like I could not be loyal to any company, any boss, anybody, and first and foremost to myself. So you have to be true to yourself in life, and sometimes you do have to come out that picture, stop with all your goals or wherever you were thinking you were going, and it's just about spending time. For me, it was my children, and I didn't believe in nannies and other people taking care of my children. It was about me. I wanted them to know me, for me to know my children. You know, I think times have changed when I think our lives are so fast and we all have a role to play. Just because of the situations, the circumstances, and the way life has set out to be, that we can't be the old-fashioned mums like our mums used to be and our dads. Like we had a role to play in the household. Mum stay at home, look after the children, cook and all the rest, which is a big job in itself. And the fathers go out. I mean, I think those times have changed somewhat, haven't they? So for me to go into makeup is once I saw the children, they were, you know, one was at nursery, the other one was at school. I felt like I needed to do something for myself. I'm not a person who watches TV. I can't sit down in one place. And I know it sounds...
so somebody else
like, you like me?
Yeah. No, I like watching TV.
She's the opposite.
Oh, yeah.
My Indian dramas in the evening.
Oh, really? Do you like all that?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So, no, I just can't sit still. I know it sounds like a bit of a cliche, but I am a people's person. I like to smile. I like to laugh. I mean, Hashi by nature, Hashi by name, or Hashi by name, Hashi by nature, whatever the saying goes. I always get it back to front. Bobby will tell you that. So, for me, it was important to get back. And I think it's part of your well-being. I think having children and life changes can play havoc on your mindset. And I think to be proactive and positive, you still have to be you and try to do what makes you happy.
So it gives you back that individuality, your own self.
Yeah,
because we lose ourselves when we have our kids, right? Even when we get married, we lose ourselves, our identity, who we are as a person. We start merging ourselves and becoming one person with our husband, and then we have children, and then we become someone's mom. So we lose that individuality.
100%.
And I think through MSA, that's what I wanted to also give back, was that for a couple of hours a week, just come and be who you are, have a little bit of fun, social engagement, but also get active as well at the same time. So you're having a laugh, but you're also learning new skills and getting active without you even realising it.
100%.
And I think a lot of that happens, and I think like you were saying, for our mum and dad's age, yes, mums were expected to stay at home, but the life nowadays, everything we want is fast. We want it yesterday. So it means that both parents are working. But you have to enjoy that work.
Absolutely.
I think like you becoming a makeup artist because it was your passion is really important. I think it doesn't have to be makeup, obviously, but pursue what you love.
I think for me, it was realising who you are, what you want. At that moment in time, for me, that was... Accidentally, I went into that. A friend asked me to help her. By helping her, a few people then asked me on repeat, can you come over and do my wedding or do my daughter's or whatever?
Was that your escape then? Did you used to think I can leave the kids and go out and I can be me again?
It wasn't escape.
Yeah, not a nice word sometimes.
It's more so, I feel like I'm slowly going back on track. Because if I didn't, I think it's a downward kind of...
What did you do a degree in?
Fashion and business. And that's...
So that's where your artistry
I have
comes through.
such a creative mind. I can't sit still. So I don't know if it's ADHD.
No.
Or as my husband would say, I'm just one big weirdo. It might be the latter one. But so I felt like for me at that time, it was the perfect thing for me to do because I could liaise with people. I have amazing conversation. I really feel like in my journey in life, I want to help and put a smile on everyone's face.
Tell us about your craziest client.
Yeah, go on.
The real Bridezilla.
We do have Bridezillas. We have Bridezillas. A particular one, you know what happens? It's the night before.
Oh.
And that household usually is a loving household. But on this occasion, the stress level is super high. So there's me, jolly old Hashi, right? Working along, right? Hello, good morning. And it's like nobody's smiling, nobody laughing. I'm like, okay.
That's not my thing.
And then you're like, it's not me. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like, I had a shower, love. Do you know what I'm saying? And then, so I'd go in and you could feel the friction, you could feel the atmosphere, the tension. So just by being sensitive to everybody and what's going on, you can read at that age, you can see what's going on with everybody. You know, there's respect for the bride, the bride's mom, and so on and so forth. And the family were lovely. Don't get me wrong, they're a beautiful family. However, the situation gets the better of them.
I think it's the emotion as well.
Is everything on time? Am I going to look great? Is the catering going to be here? Is the car going to be? There's so much going on in their minds. So when we went upstairs, they had a massive argument and nobody was talking to anyone. So I couldn't get everyone in the room for me to get them to do whatever they're supposed to do, get their clothing in order and everything else. And at the time, we had tears, and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to turn into a counsellor now at this point.
I was going to say, half of the job is that.
And it is, but you know something? That makes it even more rewarding.
Yes.
I know it sounds really strange. I'm meant to be doing makeup. However, I feel like I do more than that.
So you have to talk them through and calm their anxiety down, make sure that you tell them
you're that type of
fine.
person to do it as well. You've got that in you.
And you know something? That's the day, I think, the bride said to me, how did you do that? And I didn't understand, and I was like, "What do you mean?" And she,
and I threw magic dust everywhere.
I threw glitter in the air.
Can we have some glitter now?
Yeah, glitter. Can we have some glitter, please? Right. I'm going to get some glitter. No, thank you. Hobbies.
For our viewers, Hashi is Bobby's sister.
So you can, that's why your sister on the banter.
That much younger sister.
Much young,
So you'll see there's a bit of banter there.
Maths wasn't his strongest
you can
point.
tell.
Whatever.
I am the youngest. Hello. So,
and you look at, by the way, as well.
this is what I love this guy.
He's got to do the rest of our podcast.
Now she's back every week, aren't you?
I'm coming back next week, Bobby. So I remember that time she goes, do you know, how did you do that? And I wasn't 100% where we were going with the conversation. She basically said, we were shouting and screaming at each other, but you've come in and everything is calm. Do you know what? I think you know sometimes when you have a good effect on people, and sometimes don't go in to judge. I think the biggest mistake is in life is expectations and judging. Do not judge people, because everybody has a background story that leads up to that point. And people
a really healing voice.
I know. I could just literally.
You don't say that.
No. This is free therapy.
Sal's got a nice voice, right?
Yeah.
This is healing.
Like radio voice.
But
you've got that healing voice. You have, and quite a motivational.
No,
Can you give me the therapy sessions instead?
No, everyone says that. That's the thing. I think this
Makes a difference.
and
Do you know what you could do? Is get a job as that the sleep person.
But I fall asleep. Mate, I haven't slept since 1:15. Honestly, I could do with a nap. Yeah. Don't speak to me.
Speak to you.
I think it's Bobby's laughter that keeps you awake.
We'll just repeat this episode.
Mate, I ain't going to sleep ever. No.
So Hashi, is your name actually mean like as in
laughter.
from Hashi? As in,
Don't know what my parents were
I love
thinking.
that,
Oh,
though.
really?
I didn't
So
make
just
that
Hashi?
connection.
Just Hashi's in a
I think I
Hashi,
wanted to ask you, did you name Bobby?
Yeah.
No, okay. There's
No.
controversy.
Oh.
Someone used to like Bobby Brown. No! You know this story. All my uncles know this. And she will say, no, it's not.
What was Bobby Brown?
But we do say it was her prerogative. So,
Do you know something? Back in the day, listen, viewers, you know who Bobby Brown is. If you don't, go and check him out. Because the music was amazing.
Wasn't it?
Those
R.I.P.
days.
Whitney.
What was his songs?
Ruin it. Yeah.
That's the hobbies. That's what it is. That angelic voice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Back then, I was young, and the music was fun.
Music was
and it
nice.
was
Shame about
and it was harmless.
The fact that your
It's
parents
harmless.
agreed.
Yeah.
Like, let's put some
Shall I tell you
ownership
something?
on the parents.
Yeah, well, my mum and dad, they you know, God bless them.
Was you an ugly baby?
No.
We brought
bad
in.
side.
Ouch.
It used to be right. No, we were born in when we grew up was a predominantly white area. So Dad didn't want to stay in an Asian area, so you can go into that more. Which is like Dad was a bit of a clean freak.
Do you know the reason behind Mum and Dad going to a town where I don't know how your parents are, but
We
Dad.
went to Scotland.
Oh, there you go. You're like my dad then.
Chumin.
Did they know it? Chumin.
Chumin. They used to say chumin.
But I used to go in. Nobody has ever corrected me on that.
I can't believe that.
Until South Korea.
Until South Korea.
Until I did that
Yeah.
podcast, nobody had corrected me. They've understood me when I've gone and ordered
I don't know how
it.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. They
And every
might-
time you're
they
swearing,
might
you got the
have-
wrong order.
They might have said back to me.
You could be having
chow mein.
Yeah.
They might have said back to me, but I've just carried on saying chow mein.
They probably don't. Let's just leave this lady alone.
I'm just thinking maybe they're saying it wrong.
Every single person. Yeah. Every.
Oh
They're
my
like,
God.
wow, she spent some time in learning Mandarin.
She's still learning.
Oh, you are so funny.
Imagine it means something else though.
Oh my goodness me.
What if you're asking for some other kind of dish, like an animal
Yeah,
with,
got noodles
with
in
four
the end of
legs
it.
or something?
That's more surprising that she did get the right food, isn't
I
it?
did.
Yeah, but the amount of times she's probably said, I didn't get the correct order.
No.
She got it
No,
right.
I got my chow mein with curry sauce.
So, but you were saying about your parents. Yeah, sorry, that's where it came
so
from.
you know, my parents, the reason why they went into my dad chose Stafford is because, yes, it was predominantly English friends and neighbours. It's because when you're in a heavily, what shall I say, when it's majority Asian community, there's a lot of backlash. And everybody's too busy meddling in other people's business. Whereas our English friends, they just keep themselves to themselves. And we just want a easy, quiet, peaceful life.
That's
Where
it.
did your, because my dad was quite strict in terms of the friends that we were allowed to go on. But we
Same.
had friends, but we weren't allowed to hang about with them after
Yeah,
school
same,
and stuff like that.
same.
It was very restricted.
Yeah.
How strict was your parents in terms
Same.
of like allowing you to go out and say
Right.
like a Friday night and so like
oh,
obviously
there is no Friday night.
there was no Friday night in our
Friday
calendar,
night's
isn't
my
it?
back garden, love. Yeah, and
But
you
did
don't
you
go
feel left
riding.
out though? Did you feel like...
Do you know something? Yes and no. You have to adapt. Yeah, there was times. It was just me at that time, and my brother, he was younger. He was 4 years younger, and it's when I went to primary school. That's when I knew the changes. And do you know the most amazing? And I remember this one moment in my lab, and I can't forget it. And it was like awakening. It sounds crazy. Until that day, you're going to think it's silly, Bobby. I came back from school, and on this particular day, I had full-on racism, and I was about 4. And you know what?
Until that time, did you just think you were the same as everybody else?
This is what I was
Yeah.
going to say. I thought I was just not as in colour, as a human being. I am the same as everybody else. 2 arms, 2 legs, a smile, eyes. As children, that's how we look at everybody, don't we? And that's how I saw everybody until I went to school. And when you got told you go back to where you come from, I thought, but I come from here. I come from up the road. what was he talking about?
Yeah.
But the tone.
And this was other children or
Older children. And I remember coming out, and I just didn't understand. And my poor daddy came to pick me up, and I said, Dad, they called me this, and they told me to go back. And you know what? My dad's face looked so sad. And you know, as children, you look at their facial expressions. It means everything.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to put my dad through that again. So when it happened
we
again,
try and protect our children from this, and it's that moment, isn't it, where you think, I need to now tell my child that not only are you different, but this is something you may face, and that's really
when you
sad.
live in an Asian majority community, you somewhat have them wrapped around in cotton wool.
Yes.
You don't have to explain it until that incident happens.
And that's what happened with myself. It wasn't explained.
Yeah.
They nurtured me with love and affection.
Welcome to the Muslimah Sports Association, where empowerment and sportsmanship meet for Muslim women. Dive into our world of sports, tailored exclusively for you. From the exhilarating teamwork of football and the strategic plays of netball to the challenging strokes of dragon boat racing and the precision of fencing, whether you're looking to find your strength in wellness classes or experience the thrill of the NFL, we've got it all. Join a community where faith meets fitness, courage and camaraderie. The Muslimah Sports Association, where every Muslim woman discovers her champion within. Visit us today and kickstart your journey to greatness. Your sport, your sisterhood, your strength.
Proper wrapped up in cotton wool, so to speak. And so when that incident happened, the most profound thing for me was, I remember going back and I was getting changed. I went to the bathroom and I looked in the mirror. I've looked in the mirror many times. Yeah. But on this occasion, I looked in the mirror to see why did that boy hate me so much. And because I couldn't understand. I haven't said anything. I haven't done anything. I'm 4 years of age. I looked in the mirror and you know what? That was the first time I realised my colour of skin.
Wow.
And you know, I still remember to this day, it saddens me because, but it doesn't mean that I hate my white counterparts.
Yeah.
You have to find a fine balance, and you have to be intelligent.
We have to also mention that not everybody's the same.
No,
exactly.
We've all got friends, of course, of different race, different communities, different backgrounds.
Yeah, you can't be arrogant.
No.
In this, you have to be intelligent in your choices and your decisions in life. And that goes across the border, wherever you're going, in every part of your journey. But that was profound for me, and I carry that through. But it doesn't mean I hate my white counterparts. No, not at all. I have very good friends. You know, if somebody gives me a smile, I'll give a bigger one back. And that's the way I roll.
But you know, like, you think about growing up, and children have no idea, do they? Like, I remember when my daughter was young, sometimes I'd say, "Oh, which kid is that?" And we refer to skin colour. You know, I'm embarrassed to say it. I'd be like, "Oh, is she white? Is she whatever?" She'd be like, "I don't know, Mum. Like, because kids don't see that."
One.
But you had that incident for you to then look in the mirror, and
it was.
But what? At what point did that child have a moment? Because he grew up the same. Remember
that's what I was
that?
going to say.
And at some point, someone said to him, I'm guessing probably a parent.
Parents,
Oh, the parents were there. They were all watching.
But can you imagine at some point, someone has put into him, they are different. And he's then now not looked in his mirror, but he's looking at you and thinking, oh, actually, they're different to me, isn't it? And that's a really sad realisation. We had one sad realisation, but their realisation is even more sad, isn't it?
Nobody's born with racism, is it?
Because exactly. And I don't believe that really came from him if he sat down and thought about it himself. That came from listening to his parents and others. Because it was that era, the 70s. I told you I was young.
It still exists
70s.
now. It still exists.
Baby!
So,
I like that.
right. So, and I think it's that time, that era, and thank God, alhamdulillah, life, it has changed somewhat. Yes, we have difficulties, and like you were talking on your other podcasts about, you know, how athletics and sports, our people are facing. And you know, you were talking about the hijab and the female boxer.
Yeah.
And you were saying something on the lines of, well, is it based on racism? Is it because to do with the hijab and scarf. I don't think always necessarily it is. I think it was just the fact this young lady started crying and basically made a big noise about getting beat.
And I give credit to her as well. She did apologise for opening a can of worms, which she didn't intend to do.
Yeah. But it's more so that I think people just homed in on the tears and then thought, oh, actually, now that you're saying this, she looks very masculine.
Yeah.
But a sports like boxing, you're going to do your weights, you're going to do the heavy training. Yeah. You're not going to look soft and gentle and feminine.
Exactly.
Of course, you're going to have very masculine kind of features. And for what reason? Because of the sports.
Yeah.
But your religion shouldn't define or restrict you from doing anything in the world. It shouldn't do.
No.
Faith is about you and him up there. End of. And I don't understand why there is so much more to be said. And you know, a lot of challenges we're facing isn't from our religion or our faith. We're not oppressed in any way.
Yeah.
It's the outside
it's the
who would,
spectators,
they are, I suppose they would like us to be like them. And when you are different in any way, form or shape, you are going to get picked on. I mean, for example, when you're at school, no disrespect, but if you're a redhead, you do get called names in school, right? Yeah. Not because they're Muslim, Christian, Hindus.
I have read.
You get all the names.
It was people with freckles as well.
Yeah,
freckles, they would get named called.
If
you're a bit podgy, you got named called.
Yeah.
What?
If you're short, then you get, oh my goodness. Seriously?
Conform to the
if you've got
expectations
you
that
can't do it. You know.
But you know what you said before was because they want you to be like them. Do you think that's what it is then?
Yeah, because you have to fit into their circle. It's like popularity.
But let's be serious, right? We've had a lot of this far right issues happening, and maybe it's affected you guys more because you're in a kind of predominantly non-ethnic area.
Yeah.
But do you think, I'm going to say Gary, wants us to be unemployed like him then? Like, what's going on? I don't get it.
Who's Gary? Who's Gary?
Who's Gary?
Hello.
Not me.
Who's Gary then, love?
Gary with the one.
Joe Blogs.
Oh, well, is this the Asian version? Oh, okay.
But this is it, isn't it? Because he's sitting there criticising everything about his own life and criticising everything about...
That's where it starts, isn't it? There's a dissatisfaction with your own life and
that's it.
You're not
And then
comfortable in your own skin and your own environment. So you've got to bring that frustration and hatred and direct it towards people who look a little bit different than you.
It's just being different. You're not in their circle.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, when I go back to school, it all stems from the basics. The basics is your school life, that playground.
Yeah.
I take so many examples from school playground, things that have happened, situations. It's like those little groups. Do you remember at school? They were popular.
Yeah.
Why did they? Because they all go to ballet. Yeah. And they all got this common ground. So they share the stories.
Popular, let's go to that popular group.
Or they live in that same area.
Yeah.
So there's these groups, but they all have their reasons to be together. Yeah. But for any reason that you are any different, you're not in that circle.
And that's human nature.
Yes.
That is human nature.
Human nature, but
you automatically get attracted to people that are like you.
Yeah. But just because...
But you shouldn't oppress against those who may be a little bit different.
No, but you can't hate.
No, you can't hate.
Because you're not born with hate.
No.
You are creating a hate. And why? Why can you not be kind and have a smile? Life is more peaceful to smile and just get on.
Live in
Absolutely,
harmony. You do your thing, I'll do my thing.
Yeah. Because it's not like I'm trying to take over land and I'm not taking part of the country away. No, we're living together.
Yeah.
You know, if you complain about jobs, apply.
Yeah.
Don't shout and scream.
No, we're supposed to land from the sky in your lap.
You shake the mango
But you
tree.
took it before I caught it, didn't you? That's the problem.
I was there waiting.
Yeah, so I think,
this is it.
I'm glad it has... For me, growing up, I have seen changes. Yes, we've seen riots and things like that, but it's that minority.
Yeah, that starts
It
all
is
off.
a minority making
that is making the noise.
Yeah.
That's it. And that's what we have to remember is Britain is still good. It's still got lots of good people in it.
yeah.
We've got lots of friends here, a lot of supporters for us, who wants diversity, who wants to welcome, refugees.
100%,
We're still that safe space for them to come to, that safe country.
Yeah.
And I don't think we should let a minority
But look at the riots. Look at how many. Look at the stats on the crowd that was anti.
Yeah, exactly.
That was phenomenal.
That was
amazing, wasn't it?
Show in East London.
Yes. Look what happened there.
I don't know if the rumours were right,
fantastic.
but none of the races turned up.
The crowd was too big.
Too big, yeah.
They were threatened. And it's literally about a small minority causing havoc. And if you give them that little leeway to make noise, then they will.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you stand upright, if you stand together,
That's
then
what
no one can break that
unity.
wall.
Yeah.
That's unity. And I think that's where it shows us that there has been changes.
Yeah.
Slowly but surely, and it's good to see. And I think it's when you see things like, on the bright side of things, or on the flip side of things, when you see things like these marches or riots, when you see the opposite side, I think that's when you physically can see, wow, actually we are together. They believe in us and they can see what's happening.
Yeah.
And you feel good for your children that they're growing up and, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Because I think our English counterparts and others, they understand what we're about.
Yeah.
It's not all about the media. We're not terrorists. We're not there to cause chaos and havoc and terror. If you want to talk about terrorism, well, then everyone in prison who were there for their crimes, that you'd class them as that as well for those certain crimes.
But
I
this
don't
is
know,
it. Each of us are representing every single moment we're outside, we're with other people, we're representing, isn't it? We're representing Muslims, we're representing Asians, the Bangladeshi community, all of that.
Get in.
Exactly.
Look at that fist.
Listen,
Somebody.
I just need to get my gloves next time.
Give us some Bengali. Let's lighten the mood. Give us some Bengali stereotypes that you like.
Bengali, what do you mean?
Because you must have loads living where you live and have this perception of what Bengalis are like.
Yeah,
come on.
Even Muslims.
Bengali.
Let's bust some myths.
Go on.
I feel like they're more Bengali than us, though. I'm telling you.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I think.
Nobody's talking about Uti every day. The amount of times you've used that word.
It's not a word I tend to use.
For us, it's like
It's like
if.
It's very
and
light.
yeah.
But then we realised because
What the
my
meaning
sister,
is.
she's married to a Pakistani guy, controversial. We can talk about that. But no, Hobbits is really bad apparently over there.
What? In Pakistan?
Yeah.
Did they say Hobbits?
Yeah.
Did they?
It means
What does it mean?
Yeah, it means.
You know, Khabib, it
Hobbies
comes
means-
from the Arabic word, I think, of a devil.
Oh,
Well, they just said they
we do. It's just as a joke.
Yeah, but they say it as a cuss word, but a little bit more.
Okay.
It goes a bit deeper.
There's a lot of words, though, isn't it? Okay,
No,
a lot of words that Bengalis use lightly.
Yeah.
And Pakistanis take so much.
And I'm
offense.
I didn't know
it's
that
like,
they use that.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you know what makes me laugh? I think I'm a kid at heart. I
you
laugh
like winding
before I
him
even say. No. The thing is, what's a blanket in our lingo?
Oh yes, I know.
Until my dad says it passes the combol. I said, what are you going on about that?
Until I got married.
Your husband's asking to pass.
Back home when I went to Bangladesh for the first time, they're going, Kumbunda. That's not the word.
Homol, yeah. No, it's homol, but the
Take the B out, people. Take the B out.
No, listen. The Pakistani says homol.
Do they say homol?
No, the Pakistani says homol.
Do they?
Yeah,
Oh.
and then Bengali we say homol.
Homol. We don't put the B.
Yeah.
I said,
No. So when you heard that, what did you pass on?
I don't want to bump.
I've always just called it blanket.
But isn't there another word for blanket in Bengali?
Razai.
That's sure.
Razai.
Razai.
Yeah,
We
Razai.
always grew up with Razai.
Yeah, Razai.
Razai?
Yeah, for the blankets. Yeah, did you know that?
Is,
That's the guy
thin
down
one. You know
in the
the
restaurant, isn't it?
Razai Mia.
Razai's the guy who serves the food in the
Gaza.
the tumin.
He serves chumin. Razai serves chumin.
Oh,
Oh my
bless,
God, we
man.
got it so wrong.
Yeah,
God, that's the.
That's bad, isn't it?
you're going to get
You're
many
in-
views up for that.
No, they said it to her. She was like, what the heck?
Did you say it to me?
Because it was cold. And they're like, give me that humble. And I was like, I don't want that.
I don't want anybody's humble.
How did we go stoop so low? How did we stoop so low?
That happens when you come on this podcast. You start with a serious note, and
Yeah,
then
then we-
somehow we get lost in
Do you know, it's always made me laugh. So now I know I've said it wrong then. It's me.
What other words have you been saying wrong?
I don't know, man. I don't say anything.
She says stays
What about
quiet.
like weddings? You go to a lot of weddings and stuff. I've seen some monstrosities.
We're
What
always
do you
talking about weddings, we are.
Like stereotypes. You must have seen some.
What do you mean?
Do
It's
you remember the time
instant?
we got fed woodkey? Were you there?
No.
In a wedding?
At a wedding?
Yeah.
God, that hall must have
Dad was laughing Dad's head off.
Was it nice though?
No.
Did you have chicken?
How she's not bothered? You didn't realise it, did you?
I know. The thing is, I think there's a certain etiquette you should follow, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm a traditional. I don't know what everybody else is like. But I like, if I was to do a wedding, i.e. Bobby's wedding.
Oh, yeah.
that's
Let's
We've
go.
won a-
Oh, we've got a team here. We've got a team here, so let's go.
Yeah. So,
You know she's watching, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi.
If you want to import, you can just
Hi,
comment,
Rina.
like, and
You got
subscribe.
oh,
We're going to the highest bidder.
Yeah.
So whoever has the highest bid, that's whose side we're going to be on.
Right.
and what was I going to say?
Weddings.
Weddings.
But you say you're a traditionalist.
Yeah, I think I'm a traditionalist regarding food and the way it should be served. And I think I like the palau and there's a chicken dish, there's a kebab,
Meat dish and all that, yeah.
just a little bit, not overdoing it.
No, not overdoing it.
What I don't see the significance in being flamboyant.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. Why don't we keep it to basics, but still making it special? However, giving our children that deposit
Yes.
to put towards a house. Young people cannot afford
No.
to get a home. And it's hard for these guys. They're young, they want their own space.
Yeah.
To live with their family, that's hard. It's
is.
hard for both. And for
Yeah.
them to know each other and all the rest of it, it would be good for them to have a home.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I think if the parents were forthright and sat down and talked about it, I think giving them a wedding where it's still special, it's still beautiful and memorable. However, there's a big chunk of that. And instead of giving gifts, I think people nowadays
Give cash and gifts,
money
yeah.
as gifts. Put that together
Yeah.
and put it, and that's the most
Shaf
amazing
got
gift.
20 clocks on her wedding.
In Bangladesh. That was about 28 years ago, by the way. Yeah, I know.
And you're still late.
I never learnt my time.
She's got every world clock apart from the UK. Thank you, Hashi, for coming on. We really enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you, Hashi.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching the Empower Her Play podcast. You can watch all of our previous episodes on all good podcast platforms, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.